right, everybody. Can you hear me? I think I might need to adjust my levels. Hold on. I don't even know where they're at. Is this it? Oh. Okay, I'm adjusting my levels. Give me a second. Because I tend to get a little loud on here. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We will have to see. So you'll have to let me know how, excuse me, how everything sounds. I think I might be able to set that right there for a second. All right, and I'm going to check on my phone. So, happy Sunday, everybody. What's everybody doing? Going to my channel. Going to my channel. Hey, you know what? I just looked at my channel. I am 2 subscribers away from 200. I need 2 more, just 2 more to reach my goal of 200 by the end of the year. And y'all can help me out, giving me a Christmas present. Happy Sunday. Hey! Help me out. Uh-oh, hold on a second. I gotta do this. Can't wait, smells great. Keto. You're gonna have to help me with your names. I forgot your name because I know everybody by channel names. So when it comes to first names, I can't remember. So, but I do want to tell you all, thank you for tuning in, but I do want to tell you all, if you haven't noticed, and you need to go look at my videos because the most recent upload is a very fun and special upload that you need to do because it's a $100 giveaway. Robin, okay, great. Thanks for tuning in, Robin. I appreciate it. And I want to tell you, Robin, you need to go view my latest upload. It's a $100 giveaway. It's a YouTube follow loop, and what you do is just it'll take a few minutes of your time, but it's so well worth it just to go through and you watch the video, you subscribe to each channel, and there's only 4 of us. And when you finish the whole loop, then you can click on the link to enter the contest on Gleam. Okay, and that's all you need to do. And I forgot the day that we're drawing. It's this week though, so 5th or 6th. I think is when we're doing it, the drawing. So we've got a couple days, so tell your friends about it. It's a $100 e-gift card, straight up, legit, no tricks, no gimmicks, no nothing. But we do appreciate, we do want y'all to participate. So go do that. Go do that. So tell me, today I was sharing. Oh, and I also want everyone to know that at 2:00 every day, 2:00 Eastern Standard Time, on my Instagram channel, which is the Recycled Mom. I'm the Recycled Mom everywhere on social media. I'm going to be doing Christmas trivia. I did it yesterday and I just did it today. 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. We do Christmas trivia and fun facts. So like today I tried to do some Christmas trivia, Christmas movie trivia, and I only had a couple people in there, and then some people hadn't seen movies like The Polar Express and stuff like that. So I really couldn't do trivia a whole lot. I gave some trivia fun facts, and that was about it. So 2:00 every day, if you can, set your watches, set an alarm, come join me for some trivia fun. Yeah, Robin, who couldn't use an extra $100? I mean, it's just straight up e-gift card. Use wherever. It's not like you can only use it on Amazon. Just use it wherever. There are 2 people that are putting it together. They are the hosts for the giveaway. It was Ingrid from Mommy and Mia Homeschool Chronicles and Abigail, who is the homeschool hippie. And they are the ones that put the collaboration together. So there are 4 of us. It's myself included, and Athena, and her channel is Passion as a Verb. And her channel, if you are, she's brand new to YouTube, so I encourage you, please, to go over there and show her some support and some likes, and watch some of her videos. She is one that is going to be doing Vlogmas, so you're going to really get a chance to get to know her this year, or this month. And she has a lot of things. If you've got like a business, or you've got something that you're working on, you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to get something off the ground, or if you want to try to improve yourself, in your business, then Athena is the one that you're going to want to hook up with and glean some tips and business tricks from her. She's a fabulous woman. She's in Texas, Dallas, Texas, and but she's brand new to YouTube, so we want to show her some love and show her a big welcome from our YouTube family. So, okay, so today, and I'm sorry, my title for this is an old title, and I need to go back and fix that. But today, I just wanted to share, or let's just share together, what is a favorite Christmas memory that you have when you were a child growing up? Is there one that just stands out, something really special? Just a special Christmas memory that just sits on your heart and you just cherish it forever and ever and ever. And this is when you were growing up, not when you're married and have kids and as an adult. This is when you were little. I want to hear from you. And if you're watching the replay, drop your story, your favorite Christmas memory, your favorite Christmas time. Maybe it's a tradition, but something that you did as a child that has just stuck with you and has been one of these special memories that has been cherished on your heart forever. I would love to hear that from you. I will try to share mine. I don't even know where to start. I'll share this one. I have a lot, but the one that comes to mind first off is the Christmas that, and I must have been 6, and it was the Christmas that my mom and dad had reconciled and got back together. So they had separated when I was, about a year before. So I was, 5, I guess. I don't know. I'm approximating age here, but I'm pretty sure I was 6. My parents had reconciled, and we were in a new house. And my bedroom set hadn't arrived yet, and who knows? Maybe it was a Christmas present. I don't know, but it was so close to Christmas when we moved into this house. And I remember that, but we had a Christmas tree up, we had our furniture up, and I remember laying and sleeping on the couch because that's what I had to sleep on. And I remember sleeping on the couch, and I tried my darndest to stay awake all night long to try to catch Santa Claus. And it was windy that night, and it was and it was snowing too, so it was like almost like the perfect story, right? But it was windy that night, and the wind would rattle some of it would rattle the garage door, and as I would doze off, and then I would hear a little bit of the garage door, I would kind of hear some of that noise when the wind kicked up, and I'd wake up and I was like, is Santa here yet? Is Santa here yet? Did I catch him? Is that him coming? And I remember like all night I did not get any sleep before Christmas morning, but I stayed up all night trying to catch Santa Claus. And don't you know, Santa Claus came and I never caught him. But I will never forget trying to sleep that whole night, thinking that every time that I heard the garage door, rattle, that I thought that was Santa Claus coming in. Okay, Robin says, every Christmas morning at my grandparents' farm with all family, cousins, aunts, uncles, eating a huge Christmas breakfast. The best one was a foot of more snow. Oh my goodness, I miss the snow so much. I'm living in Northern Virginia, and we don't get a lot. We do get some sometimes, but yeah, we don't get a lot. But that sounds so sweet. Every Christmas morning at your grandparents' farm. My grandparents had a farm too. We would go out there after we had our family Christmas, and then my mom and I, and then we would go out to the farm, and then I would see all my aunts and uncles and cousins and everything, and have a big dinner and all that. So yeah, those are special memories. And I like this, the one with the foot of snow. Extra huge Christmas breakfast. Yes, that is one of my favorite times was going to my grandma's house too. Yeah, some of the favorite Christmas memories are tucked away, and then we try to recreate them when we get older, and we try to give our kids that bubble, that little happy bubble. Something else I guess maybe this is question number 2, but something else that I wanted to ask and throw out there. Um, what is it? How can I ask this? What smell? Do it this way. Is there a smell or a sound, like maybe a song or a sound or something, that takes you back to a special moment in your childhood? You know what I'm asking? So it's like, for me, this would be mine, where every time I smell onions and celery and some stuff, maybe, every time I smell onions cooking, like someone sauteing them in the kitchen, I'm instantly transported back into my mom's kitchen when she was cooking the onions and celery and doing all that stuff, making stuffing to put into the turkey. And I'm instantly transported into that kitchen, and I would be in there with her watching her do it. And it's just that feeling of holiday time, and I'm instantly transported back into that moment. So is there something like that with you? Is there something like a smell, or maybe it's a song, that that kind of takes you back to that special moment? Those are some of the cool things. Isn't it interesting how you're going through the store, or you're just going down the road, and kind of just minding your own business, and then all of a sudden, boom, all these memories pop up because maybe you heard a commercial, you heard a song on the radio, maybe it was something on the news, or a phrase, like when you hear, like when I say 9/11, instantly people are kind of taken back to that moment when they saw the Twin Towers fall. Some of it could be a smell, it could be a phrase, it could be feeling something like a soft blanket, and you're instantly transported somewhere. Isn't that neat how we go through, we have those experiences, those, um, just those things that kind of take us back to a moment. Some are good, some are bad, but nonetheless, it does affect us, and that's huge to. Uh, Give me a second. It's huge to what I want to talk about next. Oh, Robin says bells. Papa would always ring the big farm bell for Christmas breakfast. Oh, how fun! I love bells. I do. Have you ever seen a handbell choir or listened to a handbell choir? We've got one. You know what? I think it's this afternoon, and I'm going to miss it. Oh, caca. I have to look back. I responded to an event on Facebook, and it's at our library, and it's with the handbell choir. That's so cool. Hi, Dakota. How are you doing? Dakota says, something that takes me back to special moments is Silent Night Temptations. My family loved waking up on Christmas Day and opening up gifts while having this song on repeat. Oh my gosh, how fun! Memories. Oh, Robin, you used to direct the chime choir. Oh my goodness, how fun! I always wanted to be like in a handbell choir, but my church never did them, and but I think that's fascinating. I love listening to the bells. So Dakota, Silent Night Temptations. Oh my goodness. For me, for the longest time, I would do, oh my goodness. I just lost it. Nat King Cole does it, but it was, it's not O Tannenbaum, it's the other one he does. And I would start the Christmas season back when Christmas started the day after Thanksgiving, and not like 2 months prior to Christmas, but when the Christmas season actually started, I would kick off the Christmas season with Nat King Cole's album, and it would have, oh my goodness, what is it? It's not O Tannenbaum. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. That's his, and that's what I would kick off the Christmas season with. And I still have it on cassette tape. And you know what? Do you guys have any? I'm dating myself here, but I still have a record player down in my basement, and I haven't played records, y'all. Records, albums, vinyl. I haven't played those in years, so I would definitely have to get a new needle for it. Shoot, I'm not even sure if I even play anymore. But I have the albums, the records from my grandma's house. She always had Bing Crosby playing, um, Doris Day. Oh my goodness, who else? Some of the Rat Pack, some of those classic traditional Christmas songs that you'd hear every year, like from the 50s. And she had, and I'm doing this for the records, but I have her Christmas records down in a cabinet, and then she had one that was not the 30, yeah, not the 33, but the 78, not the little ones, but the ones that was in hearing the like the record crackly stuff. I love that. I really love that. Um, Yay, Dakota came through. Chestnut roasting. Yes. Dakota came through for me. I guess I should have looked at the chat before. I know those are I have some memories that are just like ingrained in there, and I love this time of year, and I think it's because for me, it was when family got together. Now, my parents divorced when I was young, so it was just my mom and I growing up, and there are a lot of times that it was very um, empty in that house. But I mean that in a good way. It was just that it was being just the two of us. There wasn't a lot. Um, and we had a little rinky-dink Christmas tree, and I made ornaments for that. You guys remember the spirograph that came out all those years ago? And then we would make I would make ornaments with those, and I would make them on like heavy paper, and then cut a hole in them, put some string on it, and put those on the Christmas tree. So I think that my mom still has some of those. Yeah, the thick ones, Robin. Granny had an older player use the 78. So I have ones that, you've got the bigger ones that were like the 33, and then you had like the 78, and then you had the little, what is that, 45s? Let me tell you, I remember my favorite 45. I remember the records were like so cool. Anyway, um, yeah, memories are so cool, aren't they? And I forgot what I was talking about. I just went on and went on and on and on, blabbing away, talking about whatever. What were we talking about? Now rinky dink Christmas tree with the spirograph ornaments that I made. And but anyway, getting together with family because there wasn't anybody else but my mom and I at home for many years, and I think it's because I loved it. Christmas was like a big time. My dad had a big gathering on Christmas Eve, and I would spend Christmas Eve with him, and I would see all of my aunts and uncles on that side of the family, and uh, my half siblings, from my dad's first marriage. So I would see all of them. So we would all get together at his house, and then we'd have a big gathering um, over at my grandma's house. So there was that, and then I would come home and I would have Christmas morning with my mom, and then Christmas Day we'd go over to my grandma's house and we'd have the big to do over there with all of my aunts and uncles and cousins on that side. And I just loved Christmas. It was all about family, and I think that's why I really love it today. I love it for family. Um, what are some Dakota? Oh no, you got one in here. Yeah, Meshul the Silent Night Temptations. Yeah, okay. So, um, right. Okay, yeah, the songs and stuff. I love all of the memories and stuff. And so we had the smells, and we had like favorite Christmas memories. Um, and I was going to talk about the what it did to your it does to your brain. How when you so I was talking about thoughts. That's what it was. So I was going to go where I'm going with all of this was how our thought life our thought life is what we make it, and we can look back in life and see some of the negative things or all of the negative things, but it's how we look back at the past and what our perspective is on it. Yes, there are some things that happened, and yes, like for instance, there was for many years during the holidays, and this was after my husband and I got married. I think it was about maybe back around 1999, 2000, somewhere around there. And this time of year was very hard for me. Something very negative and very hard to deal with happened at that time, and it happened during Thanksgiving and Christmas. It happened right in that time frame. So the month of December for the longest time was very hard for me, and it happened where we had lived. So after this event had happened and my husband and I had moved to where we are living now, we had to go through this area, on our way to his parents' house. And Dakota says, I have to say that spending time with my family as well is another special part. I also remember my mom making homemade ice cream when it decided to snow on Christmas Day. Oh, how fun! That is so special. I think I might have done it once. Where is that called snow cream? Is that where you take all like the freshly fallen snow and you bring it inside and put some stuff on it like syrup or something? Anyway, yes, okay. Okay, so I was talking about memories. And so for the longest time, I think it took a few years at least, maybe more, but it took a long time for me to come to terms with this time of year and to actually enjoy it. I mean, I would go through the motions and I would go through the, I would find the enjoyment of it, because by then we had our firstborn, and then by the time our son was born, I was starting to come to terms where this time of year was not so hard anymore. And there were a lot of things that I need to forgive, from myself and for other people. And I needed to forgive a lot. And over time, I was able to really enjoy the period between Thanksgiving and New Year's. And so I say all of that is that I can now look back on that time in my life and look back and like, yes, this happened and I have come to terms with it and it no longer haunts me. So there aren't any things that any negative things, like I can hear something and I could be like, oh yeah, I remember that time, but then I move on and I don't dwell on that. And so it is how when we certain things, sounds, smells, phrases, and take us back into a happy time, it can also take us back into a negative time. But if we maintain, if we find ourselves dwelling on that, like when a thought comes into our mind, now we can't control those thoughts, right? You're minding your own business, you're shopping in the store, and then you hear a song and it takes you back to that negative thing, right? And you're like, oh man, I remember that. And then if you're going to sit around and talk about it and dwell on it and mull on it, you're going to bring it all back up and you're going to remain in the negative, right? I know a lot of you know what this is, right? So let's be about changing our perspective and not dwelling on that, okay? Let's be like, okay, this happened. I can't control that thought. I can't control it popping in, but I can control what I do with it once it comes in my head, okay? Let's focus on what we can really control. Okay, this event happened in the past. Okay, I'm done. I'm over this. I could sit here every year, and it's been 18, 19 years since this happened, and I could sit here every year and be miserable and remember this thing, or I can put it in the past. And if something makes something comes in and be like, oh man, I remember that, and I'd be like, oh well, that was then. I'm going to move on now. I can control that part. I can control my reaction to it and to keep it in the past. I can't control the thought that comes, or I can't control what comes in, but I control what I do with it. Oh, hey, Kim, you have a minute today. I'm so glad you could come on for a little bit. Um, hey, Dakota, yes, that is, you do have to renew your mind frequently from the negative acts. Yes. And you also have to, yes, you have to do that. And it is a continual process, because our minds operate that way. We do operate like, because we can't control what comes in, and we have a memory. We can't get rid of it. um, but over time doesn't necessarily heal. I mean, it does, but the healing part doesn't come from just the time. The healing part comes from you doing, like what Dakota said. You have to renew your mind. So the healing comes from you renewing your mind again and again over time. So it's not that, well, it's been 5 years and I haven't gotten over this. Well, it's not time. Time didn't care about you. Life doesn't care about you or your feelings. Okay? So, yes, like exactly. You have to continually, maybe you have to forgive. There was a long time in my life, um, from the period of, let's see, how old? I was 9 or 10, and then till about the time I was 15, um, I was physically and sexually abused in my home, and it was from the man that was living in our home. It wasn't my dad. It was this man that was living in our home, and my mom suffered as well. And that'll be another story, or that'll be another video at another time. However, when we finally got out of that situation, I just kept pushing it aside, and just never really dealing with it. It's like, yay, we're out. Okay, we'll just move on. And never really dealing with some things. But then there came a period in my life where things were starting to bother me, and things were just kind of coming up, and I needed to forgive. I needed to do a whole lot of forgiveness in that area where that person was concerned. I will never get an apology from that man, and that's okay. I've come to terms with that, and I don't need an apology. But for me to move on, I had to forgive, and in order for me to, so when I forgive, then I release all of that burden, all of that weight, and I can be free to live, because I already am. I'm free to live, and so I can forgive that. You know what? Because whatever happens to him in the future is not my issue. That's between him and God, and I know God has it in his hands. But in order for me to move on, I had to forgive, and then and Dakota used a great word today, renew. I had to really renew, and I had to do that a lot. I had to forgive over and over and over again. Like God says in his word, we have to forgive 70 times 7. It's not just once. It's going to be a repetitive process over and over again. And then you know what? Over time, I didn't have to forgive so much anymore because it was done. Like the forgiving part was done. I'm done. I'm healed from this. I have come to terms with it. I've settled it. I'm at peace. And so that issue didn't come up anymore. And the same thing with this event that happened that I was talking about earlier that happened when my husband and I were married back in 2000. Over time, this time of year became okay. I noticed that I wasn't feeling hurt so much anymore. I was growing. I forgave myself for my part in it, and I forgave other people, and and this time of year became enjoyable, and I realized, oh, you know what? I'm not thinking about that anymore. It's so freeing when we forgive and let go of that apology that we're never going to get. Okay. Yeah, like you said, yeah, Dakota, you will always remember because, right, like we said, like earlier, things come into our mind, boom, there goes our memory, and we remember it. And it's what we do with it after that, right? That is the key, and that is absolutely what we can control. And that's what I say, we can control our happiness, or we can control, our peace, because we don't have to think about this. We don't, because it's going to be settled. Oh, Kim says it's definitely not a one and done at first. You're right. It's not a one and done. Um, and I think us dear Christian women and just women in general, I think we get caught up in that. We get caught up in the, um, well, I forgave you, and so we should be right. Or how come, if I forgave you, I should be getting an apology, or you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, okay, we forgave each other. We should be back to, how things were. And you know what? Forgiveness doesn't mean restoration. Forgiveness doesn't mean that, everything's going to be hunky dory again, because something has changed and it can't go back to the way it was. But so when you forgive, that just means that you can move on. You've got a new point of your life. Sometimes it might be a new normal for some people. Maybe it's a new direction, or maybe it's, whatever healing there is. But when just because there's forgiveness doesn't mean there's restoration. You can forgive someone and move on in your life, but that relationship or that circumstance, that thing may not be repaired. But if there's forgiveness, especially on your part, then you've done your part. You've done what you needed to do to be able to renew your mind. Dakota, I just love that. Yes, renew your mind, because that's biblical. That preach, Dakota. um, yes, Dakota. Yes, you're saying releasing yourself from being in hostage, and this is absolutely limiting and binding beliefs. You're absolutely right with the situation and circumstance. So, like you said, you have to forgive yourself and the person. Absolutely, we have to. When we don't forgive, and remember, ladies, forgiveness doesn't mean that you accept what happened, you know what I'm saying, or that other person is let off the hook. No, that's not what that means. What that means is exactly what Dakota and I are saying, is that it's releasing you from that prison. You don't have to live in the prison. You can take your own chains off here, people, because the only person that's binding you up is yourself. So let's get over ourselves. We don't have to stay down. We don't have to stay bound. We don't have to, um, you know, um, have this limiting thinking, this stinking thinking, as I call it. That stinking thinking gets us in trouble, because we borrow trouble, and we that stinking thinking is that stuff that dwells on all of the negative and dwells on the stuff that happened to you. It's can I say this and not anybody take me the wrong way? It's victim mentality. Okay, please don't take that out of context. Okay, because what that is, you're keeping yourself as a victim, and when you forgive, you are releasing those chains and the bondage. You don't have to be in this cell. You can live free. You can live at peace. You can. But if you're listening to this and you're going through something right now that is just it's very painful and it's very raw, and you don't know how to deal with it, I want to tell you that it's not the time that's going to heal. It is, but it's the constant. You need to forgive every day, every day, every day. And you need to ask the Lord to help you. And if believing in religion is not your thing or whatever, that's fine. Do what you need to do. You just need to keep forgiving that person. And you're like, well, I don't want to forgive them. And that's okay. That's really okay, because there will come a point when you will want to, because it's not about them. It's about you. It's about you moving on. And it's about you being free and being released. If you're having problems with, a lot of health problems, if you're, headaches, stomach aches, body aches, you can't drop the weight, you're just having struggles, you got some of your brain fog. I want to tell you, a lot of the stuff that we're going through is because it's a lack of forgiveness and a lack of letting go. And when we let go and we forgive, I'm going to tell you, a lot of that baggage just drops right off. And the brain fog will go away, and our body feels better, and we can lose the weight. And I'm telling you, that's huge. It's huge. Yes, taking back your power, Robin. Take it back. We don't have to live in bondage. And it's a whole premise behind the Recycled Mom is that we are revived to thrive. I don't want any of us to just survive living our lives, because that's not living. Surviving is not living. It's, I mean, it is. It's surviving. You're going through the day, and I don't want any of us, anyone that's listening or anyone that's going to come in and listen in the replay, to live a life that is not full or free. Let me put it that way. Is you're free to be. That comes from my Girls American Heritage Girls troop. Her name is Frida, and the letter B, Frida B, and then she has all of these little lessons on free to be a blessing, free to be me, and she has all of these little lessons for my girls. And but to me, as a mom, but as a woman who is recycling her thoughts and learning how to to live and not just survive life, right? I have to realize that, I am already free to be these things that I am called to be and meant to be, but I hold myself back because of that limiting thinking, because of there's areas of my life that I just haven't released. And I don't want to release them because I don't think it's fair that person can, get off without, there's no justice here, and I have to let that go and think, okay, karma is going to come and get that person in due time. Or for me, I'm a believer and I know that person is going to stand before God one day. I don't have to do the judging. God's going to do it. I know it because he said it. Who's this? I don't know how to say this. Yones, DZ. Hey, I'm glad you joined us. Robin. Oh, Kim, you said you made a fog. You're cute. Let's see. So Robin says, almost 100 days ago, I was finally able to say, I love me. Good for you. Good for you. I want to get to be where you are. I want to get to be where you are so I can be able to say, I love me. So a lot of times I come on here and I'm preaching to me. So, all right, sister, all my life I've never said it, didn't think I was worth it, etc., because of abuses as a child. Amen. And I have a video on here, and yes, I'm doing a shameless plug. I have a video, and so you got to go back. I don't know if you're on your phone or on a laptop or whatever, but when you look at all of my videos, go to the one that says you are worthy and listen to that and listen to it again and again and again. And I did it for me. I did it for me too. It was a chat. I do a chat in a private Facebook group, and it's meant to be kind of what we're doing here and maybe exploring it a little bit more on a deeper level. But that day we were talking about our worth and how I'm seeing a trend in women in general about how we don't think that we are worthy or deserving of anything. And some of it just is in us. Sometimes we grow up learning it because we hear certain things in church and things are implied. And I don't mean that to be negative. It's just kind of how it is. It's just like, you're not deserving of anything, you filthy, rotten, dirty sinner. And it's like, well, wait a minute. We're not realizing how God sees us. And I'm a believer, and I have asked Jesus to come into my heart, and I have asked for him to save me from my sins, and I have a home in heaven, and he doesn't see me as I was. Can I use this? Let me just use this for an example. Okay. Yeah, God will work it out. All right. I'm a counselor for a recovery group, and I've been counseling. It's a faith-based recovery group. I've been doing that for about 10 years. And one person one time was referring to another woman. I hope I don't say names, so please forgive me if names pop out, okay? One woman said that she was referring when she was referring to another woman who was in the group as a former prostitute. and I never, you never think you're going to actually meet a prostitute. But she's in the group and she's renewing her mind, Dakota. She's renewing her life, right? And so she's renewing her mind. She's living her life. She is had a come to Jesus moment and accepted Christ into her life, and just a complete transformation is taking place. She's a new person. God does not see her as she was, because she's been adopted into the family, and she has a home in heaven, and she's seated in the heavenlies, as the Bible says. And yet, when people were referring to her, they were referring to her as a former prostitute. So and so, the former prostitute. No. Do you know so and so? Do you know so and so, child of the king, daughter of the king? You know what I mean? It's like when we refer to people as a former addict, or a former this, a former alcoholic, former whatever, recovering. And that word recovering alcoholic, that really bothers me, because in a addiction recovery, in a faith-based recovery group, when Jesus completely transforms, and he completely cleanses, and he completely changes you, and to think that we are always carrying around this former identity, then there is never any growth. There's no renewing of the mind, because we're always referring to ourselves, or she's always being referred to as a former prostitute. What do you think the chances are of her going back to her old life? Right? Label, judging. Oh, Robin, that's so right. I did another video on labels. I want to drop these labels. And so in March of this year, I did an I Am campaign. I did it on my Facebook page. And I asked women, a lot of women I knew very well, and they were acquaintances of mine. So there was a lot of women from a pool that I chose from. I just said choose. That I chose from. You can tell I have kids. Anyway, so I asked these women to write an I Am statement. And I've done some other things in group where I asked everyone, write your I Am statement. And if I were to ask you right now, write an I Am statement. I am, because those are the two most important words of your life, because whatever comes after that is how you define yourself. Okay? So it's very important. What comes after I am? And if I were to ask you to write I am, I wonder what you would write. Does anybody want to leave an I am statement in the comments? I wonder what you would write. I'm sorry, I'm looking down at my phone seeing if anybody, I know there's a delay, so if there's a delay, and I wanted to see if anybody, I am beautiful. Oh, see, that's what I was looking for, Robin. And I bet you can say that now, whereas you couldn't 100 days ago. And you probably would have said maybe, I don't know. That's a hard one. Okay, Kim, that is a hard one. It's a hard one. I'm going to tell you. See, Robin, you did good, because that's what I was looking for. For me, I would say what happened in the I Am experiment. It was an experiment, but that I Am thing I did for Women's History Month in March. The I Am statements I was getting were things like, I am a Christian, I am a mom, I am a CEO, blah, blah, blah. I am an author. I am blah, blah, blah. I'm a pastor's wife. I'm a cancer survivor. I am. And now there's nothing wrong with any of these things, because they are true. Because, I am a mom. I'm a mom, right? But when in Christ I am his child. Kim, that's kind of where I'm going. That's where I'm going. Because when people would say, like, okay, so we're talking about labels. When I say I'm a mom, I'm labeling myself mom. When I say I am a Christian, I put a label on me. I am, alcoholic. I put a label on me. And I am, or a lot of people identify with their condition or their, like, I'm bipolar. I would hear that a lot. I am, what's some other ones? I'm president of such and such company, or I'm a student or whatever. And when we're identifying in labels, even though they're not necessarily bad labels, they're labels. And with those things, when I say I'm Christian, I'm Republican, or I'm Democrat, I'm blah blah blah, we are telling ourselves, our mind, that because I say I am Christian, I am a mom, there are a certain set of sub beliefs or a certain set of um, rules that go along with that, and then I start to live by those rules. When I need to be saying, when I need to get down to the core of who I am. See, a mom is not who I am, who or what I am. And like Kim said, in Christ I am his child. So I would get these ladies that would also say those things. I am saved. I am a daughter of the king. Right, and you are right. And then I would say, because I am saved, I am forgiving. I am loving. I am compassionate. I am helpful. Or, like Robin just said, I am beautiful. I am confident. And I would never be able to say those things about myself. I mean, saying I am beautiful, I would never say that. But this year I'm starting to. And maybe it's because, maybe Robin, I'm starting to love myself. And we're not trained to think like that. We're told we can't think like that. We're thinking that's boastful. And you know what? It's not that I love me and look at me and everything I do. Some people do that, but you know what? We women don't want. Oh, I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to be thought of as someone that's like that. And so we take that negative thinking, we get ourselves bonded up, slap that label on, and walk right into a prison. And we are just not living life. That kind of thinking will always hold us down. Always, always, always hold us down. Robin, when we can believe what God sees, it changes everything. Yes. Yes, when we believe what God sees, and that's what I've been working on so much this year. So when I launched the Recycled Mom this year, that was huge. That was it, Robin. It was that I needed to see myself as God saw me. And I'll tell you, what I hear in my churches, in my circle of churches, is that right? A lot is that I'm just a sinner saved by grace. Okay, that statement in and of itself is true, but it needs to go from I am a sinner saved by grace to I was a sinner saved by grace, because I am not that anymore. Because that's not how God sees me. I am adopted into God's family, and I am not that anymore. I have been picked out of my mess. I have been cleansed. I have been given a new identity, if you will, right? I've been given a new identity, and I've been placed over here. I'm not like that anymore. I'm not of that family, the family of Ick. I'm not of that anymore. I'm of this, right? So why am I still identifying with that? And I know why. It's because I still make mistakes. And that's okay. I do make mistakes, but that doesn't mean I'm that anymore. God says, I don't want you to act like that. I want you to act like how you are. Because I'm not that. He doesn't see me like that anymore. But by gumbly, everybody in the world wants to point us back there, even our fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. And so, then I know it sounds like I'm preaching. I don't mean to sound like I'm preaching. I hope it's very encouraging to you, because when you see yourself as God sees you, it changes everything. And that's why I'm putting another plug in for my You Are Worthy video. I tried to keep it right under 15 minutes, and I think it's 14 minutes. But I tried to nail that sucker down. I think that chat was like 40 minutes or almost an hour, and I got everything down to under 15 minutes. If you can take 15 minutes out of your day and listen to You Are Worthy, and then tell yourself every day, tell yourself you are worthy, because God created you. And when he creates things, he calls them good, right? And he saw you worthy enough to sacrifice his unique, only begotten son. And did it even when you didn't love him. Now, that is the most beautiful picture of love there is. And if you want to know that love, I'd be happy to talk with you. And just go ahead and send me an email to therecycledmom@gmail.com. Or you can send me a direct message on Instagram, and I'll be happy to talk to you more about that. Oh, bye, Kim. Bye, Kim. You're awesome, too. Mwah, 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 mwah. Robin, I need to stop actually like playing your list and actually watching them a little bit more. I've been doing so much here this last week or so with trying to get these follow loops going, and I'm doing one on Instagram, and I was just telling everyone about the YouTube one I have at the very beginning that we're giving $100 e-gift card away. So I got a little bit caught up in some of that, but when did you do what's the title of your video so I can actually go look for it? Or actually we can all go look for it. So put the title of your video in, and we'll go look for When You Feel Unloved. Is that the title of it? Because I would love to see that, and I can even share that in the Recycled Mom Facebook group too. If you want to join the Recycled Mom Facebook group or follow me on any other social media, I have a link. It's in my Instagram profile. I don't think I didn't put it in the chat box yet or in the description box of the video yet, because when my software signed me on, it didn't give me a chance to go ahead and edit the description and title and all that stuff. So the title for this is all wrong until I go back after the chat and fix it. So it's on the playlist Sipping on Scripture. Oh, I need to go back and look. Okay. Oh, there's like a little... I'm not supposed to have any gnats here today, so go away. So, I want to just take a minute and thank you all for staying on. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I've been on here for an hour, and I don't want to take any more of your time. I want you to be able to get back to your day, but I do want to tell you that I just sincerely appreciate you staying on and tuning in today. This has been a huge encouragement for me, because normally I try to come on here and there's nobody, or maybe one will pop on for a little bit and then leave. And so it's always nice when I can have someone to talk to. And then I do try to go live in our Recycled Mom Facebook group. There's lots of other mamas in there. I think we've got about 45 people. And try to get the chat going just like what we did today, but maybe and it's on a more personal level. The group is private, so you have to go there through the link, but you can search for it on Facebook. Again, if you search for the Recycled Mom, you're going to see my mug, and then you're going to see my coffee stain logo, and so just look for that, and I'll go ahead and add you to the group, and then we can start talking more on a deeper level, maybe open up a little bit more, because it's like that on... It's not like that on YouTube, but it's like that in the group. So anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, time did fly by, Robin. I want to thank you all for a great chat, and I will catch you next Sunday. And if you're on Instagram at 2 p.m. every day from now until Christmas Eve, I'm going to be doing Christmas trivia on my Instagram channel. Hope to see you there. Everyone have a great day. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.